Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Hello everyone, Carrie here with Unicorn Company. Let me make sure of something. All right, we're good. Hello everyone, Carrie here with Unicorn Company, and today we are taking a look at the BattleTech Essentials box set. So, let's see. Oh, I can't open it. I took off the wrapper, that way it's easier, but they're it's harder to do when it's away from your body. There we go. Let's take a look at what's inside. And actually, before we do that, I need to remove something. No. Yes. Okay, so the thing I'm removing is a little piece of paper about yay big that the other side has a discount code for Catalyst Game Labs, but I don't want you all to get mine. I don't really need it. It's between the stuff I get from sponsors and everything else, So what's in the box? Well, first we have a instant guide to the inner sphere, which has some information on it. It also has a map of the inner sphere, giving you all the factions. And then on the back is some information about battle mechs, mech warriors, and such. Basic stuff. Next, we have Solaris 7 Arena map rules. These will come in handy with this map set. There's a reason that they do, and it just flips over. On the back, you have a guide to the Solaris 7 stables. This would have been, I want to say this is current for the 3020s. So you have Bromley, Overlord, Silver Dragon, Starlight, and Tandrek. I don't know if there's any other ones, at least in that time period, but those give us a few. After that is the BattleTech Essentials Quick Start Rules. And of course, it's pretty basic. You have your standard rules for how everything works. It goes over Gator, all your modifiers. There's a handy little cluster hit table. I haven't looked at the mech sheets to see if there's cluster weapons. Well, SRMs and LRMs. Comes with a couple scenarios, or one scenario, I take it back. Comes with one scenario. Playing with multiple mechs. Alternate victory conditions. How to use pilot cards. And then here is a Beyond Quick Start rules, and it gives you stuff like Game Over Combat, the technical readouts, and also fiction. All right, after we have the Quick Start rules there, we then end up with Spanner in the Works, which is a short story by Michael Stackpole. And of course, yeah, I know I'm holding it upside down to y'all. Of course, in the back, there's like a little thing showing different mechs, and it's not that big. It takes place in the Succession Wars era. Then we get to mech sheets. So this doesn't come with any full-size mech sheets. This is essentially a starter box. It's like the 2 mech starter box that's normally out there, but this is obviously a Target exclusive. So yeah, we have 4 mech record sheets. One for the Centurion, one for the Wolverine, one for the Thunderbolt, and one for the rifleman. And as you can see, they're quick start sheets, so they don't have any heat recording or anything. On the back, you do have little technical readout entries for each mech, which is really nice. Kind of gives people an idea of the mechs that they're running. And then we get into this part of the box. Now you'll notice nothing in here is shrink wrapped. That's because I unshrink wrapped everything beforehand because I didn't want to mess with it. So inside the box we have Justin Allard, and this gives you a blurb about him, and then on the back you have his special abilities, and of course has piloting and gunnery. He's a 1-2. Anya Terrell, same thing, special abilities on the back, gunnery and piloting, 2-2. You have Chaka Mabuto, who's a 3-1. Same thing again, all your special abilities are on the back, and you have a history blurb on the front. And then we have Gray Noten, who piloted the Legend Killer. All his stuff on the front, and then all his special abilities on the back. He's also a 1-1. We're going to revisit these in a moment. These are the two mechs. Oh, Paradise. You need 2d6s to play, so we got those. Take out the insert. This is where it gets interesting. We have a double-sided card. Has 4 mech punch outs on it. 2 of which, one is the Yenla Wang, one is Legend Killer. Then we have a Wolverine and a Thunderbolt matching the cards, or the sheets. We also have what looks like light and heavy jungle and light woods, although the light and heavy jungle will probably just be treated as woods unless there's different rules in there. Plus, for the Solaris map, there are 6 raised indicators and lowered indicators. Also, there's hard packed gravel. I'm assuming there's rules in there about it. And these are for the walls in the Solaris 7 map. Now, I know what you're saying, Carrie, did you just say Solaris 7 map? Yes, I did. So this is the first product in a while to be geared towards Solaris 7, in addition to being a starter box. Now, on one side, we have the patchwork map in the Reaches. So this is outside of Solaris City. This is somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. And this is what you got. Not bad. I think it's rather nice. You got a mix of light and heavy woods. A bunch of hard packed gravel, which I'm assuming works like rough. I will find out. A whole ton of it over here. Then on the other side, we have the arena. This is the Steiner Stadium in Solaris City. Now, as you can see, your playable area is actually within these walls. So it's not like you can hop out and get away or anything like that. It's not like during the FedCom Civil War where you just bust through the wall. I kind of think oh no, that's parking lot. So I'm assuming this is all the area where there's people. I think it's parking lot. I can't tell. But yeah, so Steiner Arena is really interesting because, short little tangent here, the way that it works, it has walls that raise and lower. And in addition to having walls that raise and lower, it's live. Most of the stadiums are not. Most of the stadiums are enclosures where you have mech combat, and you don't have people in there for the most part. And if you do, it's small amounts of people in very heavily protected boxes. Steiner Arena, there's people all the way around. And there's one of the only places you'll find this in BattleTech. There's a force field that protects the people from weapons getting to them. So they can watch live as mechs go in the arena to slug it out head to head. So, I mean, that's basically most of the components. Let's take a look at these two, though. And for this, I'm going to be cutting to still images, which I will be taking after I'm done recording, and using the power of editing to put them in the video. So, we'll first take a look at the rifleman. All right, so Mr. Rifleman. I kind of like the pose, actually. The guns are spread out a little bit. I can see some obvious marks on the backs of the legs where they clipped it off the sprue. I mean, otherwise, though, yeah, there's one mold line there, but they've done a pretty good job of hiding it. But yeah, it's basically a standard rifleman. It's a Rifleman 3N, I believe. And it is pretty nice. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure they could have done better in some places, but for the most part, that's a very nice miniature. Now, let's take a look at the Centurion. Now, I wish I had... Do I have? I have a big commission here, and I do not have Centurion in it, unfortunately. If I did, I would go ahead and take a look at it and compare them. But going by memory, first of all, the most obvious thing that stands out is the claw, which is definitely not on the main Centurion. And then the autocannon is much bigger. It's a honkin' thick boy. Now, looking at the model itself for any issues, there's one clip point underneath the autocannon arm towards the rear. There's also one on the forearm of the claw arm. Looking for anything else. There's another clip point at the left shoulder on the back armor, and then on the top of each of the legs. Now, one thing I do like is this is in a walking pose, and they have finally been able to get to the point where, so if you look at the Clan Invasion miniatures, you will see that when they're in a walking pose or anything like that, the walking pose is, the lifted foot is usually supported by something, even if it's like only the, like if the toe is touching and the back of the foot is up, there's still some kind of peg there. That is not here in this. I really like this. And you can tell there's a peg in the front of the foot because there's a receiver, like an indent in the bottom of the base. And it looks like they've started going to using the base having a receiving hole in it for the pegs that are on the feet of the mech instead of the other way around, which I do like very much. The Rifleman, the pegs are in the base going into the feet, and you can tell because there's no holes in the bottom, or no raised areas on the bottom of the base. But yeah, so that is everything on this. It's not a really long video. You know, it's pretty short. Oh, there's a clip point on the side of the Rifleman's aerial as well, on from inside the mech on the left-hand side. But yeah, so I mean that's about it. As far as cost and everything, I'm just going to leave it on these. No point really hopping back over to live video. As far as the cost on this, the box set, the beginner set, the BattleTech Essentials box, retails for $24.99. Now, if you were looking to buy it for the mechs, one of them is a repose of the Rifleman. It's nothing amazingly special. It's nothing that you're going to write home about. It's a good repose. I like it, but it's a repose. So you're essentially, the only thing unique in here as far as the miniatures is Yenlo Wang. Yenlo Wang, obviously, is really nice. I will say that I know a lot of people swear that they will only get plastic mechs, stuff like that. But given the history of everything with Catalyst and Iron Wind metals, I would bet that in a few months you will find Yenlo Wang. Well, maybe in about a year or so, you will find Yenlo Wang. Yenlo Wang miniatures from Iron Wind that match the classic sculpt. I do know they have one right now, but it is obviously a different sculpt of the Centurion. One other thing I wanted to touch on is that if you're looking to buy these on the secondary market, like if you're going to buy just Yenlo Wang by itself or the Rifleman, the Rifleman is obviously probably not going to command a lot on the secondary market, given that there are already Riflemans out there that you can get for way less. Or this isn't a special variant. It's literally just a repose. So the Rifleman, I would care to bet, is not going to be something. I mean, if you do want this specific Rifleman, it might cost more than other Riflemen. But apparently Gray's Rifleman was not anything special. It wasn't like a Rifleman 2 or anything like that. Yenlo Wang, I would expect to probably retail. So here's the thing: when you start looking at buying these loose, the problem you're going to run into is that they're going to cost a lot. Specifically because you have to buy a $25 box where you get 2 mechs. I mean, in some ways you can get a discount, like if you're going through, like if Target has a buy 2 get 1 free sale, which they do have going on right now as I'm recording this, although it may be done by the time this gets out there. It's it's going to cost a lot. You're probably paying, if you're buying these online, this one's if they're priced evenly, which I doubt, each of these would be $15. What I suspect is that the Rifleman will go for a lot less than Yenlo Wang, and the Rifleman will retail for probably about like $7, and Yenlo Wang is going to retail for $20. And that's just because of people needing to make a profit if they're reselling them. If you're trying to trade for them, it's going to be the same thing. The people are going to want more than they're going to want for most other mechs because of the rarity of these, as far as being, 1, a Target exclusive, 2, the fact that it costs, essentially you're paying $12 a miniature in that box, which is not bad by any means. But you're going to want to make that back and make a profit, so you're probably going to see them $7 and $20 for the Rifleman, and then for Yenlo Wang. So that is it for everything today. First of all, before I go anywhere, I want to thank Steve, who sent me this box. Mind you, this is part of me painting a commission, so he sent me this box. He's also ordered 2 of them for himself, which I will be painting his Yenlo Wangs, one as the mech in service to the FedCom, and one as just Yenlo Wang as Yenlo Wang. And I really appreciate him sending this out to me. The other people I wanted to thank, first of all, I want to thank Fortress Miniatures and Games, my sponsor. They do sell individual mechs, plastic mechs. So if you are looking to get individual plastic mechs, their prices are reasonable. Their stock is constantly changing simply because, people constantly buy these things. But he has reasonable prices, and you can find them at fortressminiaturesandgames.com. So like I said, check out Fortress Miniatures and Games. They're not going to have these immediately, but they may have these soon. He may even be able to get his hands on some of the Essentials boxes, but I don't know. He's going to have to go through retail channels, I'm suspecting, like us. So he might get a bunch during a sale, but they're probably still going to run for retail. Also, I want to thank all of my patrons. You are all amazing and wonderful people for supporting the podcast. I do appreciate it, and you make stuff like this possible. In fact, I'm not going to lie, the patrons made it possible for Unicorn Company to go to Southern Assault last year, where we won the title. So, I really appreciate all of you. And if you want to help support what this podcast does, then go to patreon.com/unicorn company, and you can, we have a few different tiers you can sign up for. I really do appreciate all the support that we get, and I want to thank y'all for listening to me ramble on about a box set with 2 little plastic miniatures in it, which is what a lot of us literally want the box for. So thank you all. Have a good day, good evening, good whatever it is where you are. This is Carrie, signing off.
I'm gonna find my meaning, I can make a change, I wanna play the game.